Another rendition of Tommy Technetium in the Chem Lab. Oh, look at that. And we start off right away with a rainbow. I love it. Absolutely love it. Yeah, I'm just adding acid or base to universal indicator here. Seeing some beautiful color changes as usual. Got some stuff to talk about this week. A lot of interesting findings in science. Apparently, some folks transmuted lead into gold, which is kind of cool. And I also think some researchers at MIT imaged individual atoms at fairly high resolution. Kind of cool stuff. Lots going on in the world of science. So welcome aboard. Yeah, we just hang out. We do some simple science experiments. Chat about life, chat about science. Some interesting experiments this week. Some scientists transmuted lead into gold. It's pretty cool how they did that. Apparently, they sped the lead atoms. This is wild. They sped the lead atoms up to essentially the speed of light. Now, I know they couldn't get them to the speed of light. But when they do this, the nucleus of the lead atoms, apparently they flatten like a pancake. Not, entirely flat, but flat enough. And that causes some kind, if I read it correctly, that causes some kind of emission of photons that then interact with the nucleus and then causes some protons to get spit out. And if one proton gets spit out, it goes to thallium. If two get spit out, it goes to mercury. And if three get spit out, it goes to gold. Kind of cool. So transmutation from lead to gold is possible. Beautiful experiments here, huh? We're just adding, here, I'm adding a little bit of acid here. Actually, this is base. So I'm just adding some sodium hydroxide base to the flask on the left. A little bit of sodium hydroxide base to the flask on the right. Now I'm going to add some hydrochloric acid. Thanks for the like. We're going to go ahead and start adding the same acid that's found in your stomach. Thanks for the likes, people. Appreciate those and the hearts. Keep them coming through. A couple drops of hydrochloric acid over here on the left. How you doing there, Mew? Good to see you. Good to have you on board. Thanks for saying hello. And I'm adding some hydrochloric acid to the flask on the right. Getting some beautiful color changes. Thank you there, Cole. I appreciate that. Over here on the right, this is neutral pH. We can tell that from our pH indicator chart. If you see a green, we're neutral. Over here, it's yellow, and that's indicating pH 6, which is just slightly acidic. So the further you get from 7, the more acidic it gets. Below 7, above 7, the more higher it gets, the more basic it is. A little bit there, Chad. Here, let's change that up for you, huh? What's better to drink? I wouldn't want to drink either of these. The dye, the universal indicator dye, contains phenolphthalein, which used to be the main ingredient in X-Lax back in like the 1980s and the 1990s. So, you can figure out, I might have to end the live if I tried to taste some of this. I'm adding a little bit of base over here on the left. And we're going to add, thank you there, Mr. Chad. We're going to add a little bit of hydrochloric acid. Same acid's found in your stomach. It's over here on the right. The difference is this acid that I'm adding is like 100 to 1,000 times more concentrated than what's in your stomach. There we go. You got it there, Happy Days. You got it there. Let's add a little bit more acid over here. There we go. No, I'm not doing any of that. I'm not, they wouldn't have made that show about me. I'm not the type of chemist that would break bad. Or at least I hope I'm not. Maybe Breaking Mad. The issue is I've been described as the happiest mad scientist you'll ever see. Look at that gorgeous, beautiful. That was beautiful. A little flash there. How you doing there, JoJo? Little flash of the traffic light colors, which is always kind of fun. Is it better to drink more acidic or more alkaline? Happy Days. It doesn't really matter. It does look good to drink, Mew. I agree. A wizard. I totally agree. Does anyone hear about some of the science news this week? Apparently, some scientists transmuted lead into gold, folks. First time that happened. First time that it was detected happening. How you doing there, Anthony? And then another interesting little bit of science news. Some scientists at MIT, looks like they imaged individual atoms. Nice, happy days. All right, we got a high pH now. Hello there, Yasmin. Good to see you. We're high pH, pH 10. I'm going to start adding some acid, hydrochloric acid. We're going to watch the pH drop. And we watch it drop by seeing a color shift. So I'm adding hydrochloric acid to the flask on the right. Hello there, Shar. Goodbye, Jada. Jada's time out for 24 hours. Yeah, I don't put up with certain comments. Let's just put it that way. Be on your best behavior. No, I don't have to be on your best behavior, but just come on, man. Yeah. Anyway, a little bit of acid over here to the flask on the left. A little bit of acid, the flask here on the right. Thank you there, General. Oh, yeah, you can, happy days. It's a little tough to pull off. Hey, I don't know if you all saw this. Give me a thumbs up if you... thank you there, Gooby. Hey, General. That's neat to hear, Happy. Give me a thumbs up if you happen to be a subscriber of my channel. I got some pretty cool news for you if you're a subscriber of my channel. It's not like anything. It's just like something that happened this past week. So give me a thumbs up if you happen to subscribe. It's all right if you don't. My channel's not for anybody. Happy days. Thanks for the subscription. A Wizard, thanks for the subscription. Appreciate that. So I got a few subscribers out there. Let me tell you something pretty cool that happened. General, thanks for the subscription. Vsauce, Michael from Vsauce, actually called me out in one of his short form videos, man. It's totally true. Go to his short form videos and you'll see a video about putting gallon stand on some of these blocks that he's selling. He's selling blocks. Thank you there, Landon. He's selling blocks like this. They're called curiosity bricks. And thanks there, happy days. What I figured out, see, the folks at the Curiosity Box, they labeled this as brass, which is correct. They labeled this as aluminum, which is correct. They labeled this, I got to get this right. They labeled this as steel and this as zinc. Well, that's actually reversed, and I did some experiments to show that. And, Vsauce is the one selling these. And, I put the video out there, and thanks to you folks, it got, like over 1 million views. I was very happy about that. So thanks to my subscribers who helped push that out. Anyway, I guess Michael at Vsauce got wind of it, and in his latest video, well, Yankee, you gotta tell me what you mean by sellout. All right, I don't know what that actually means. Thanks there. Anyway, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. I don't know what it means to sell out, so I can't really comment on whether I'm going to sell out or not. If you mean don't ever put advertisements in my videos, I've already sold out. Because sometimes people will send, like the folks at the Curiosity Box sent me this, some of these things and for me to do experiments on, so I did. And I didn't get any money for it. I just got the Curiosity bricks for free. So yeah, tell me what you mean by selling out. What do you all think selling out means? I need some help. Because on the one hand, you want to keep true to what you do on your YouTube channel. On the other hand, it costs a lot of time and money and effort. Everyone's got to hustle in this economy, huh? Hey, Yankee, I do appreciate the. I do definitely appreciate the gift, though. Thank you. That's really appreciated. So thank you for doing that. But yeah, I would like some feedback on what does it mean to sell out. What does it mean if a YouTuber sells out, or what would it look like if I sold out? Be interested to hear what folks think about that. Curiosity Box has cheap, mislabeled stuff now. It used to be good when he owned it. He sold it off to a cheap marketing company and promotes it now. Got it. Got it. Well, I got to tell you, Yankee, that company called Mill Science, they have started to ask me to do experiments with some of their materials, which I do. They did just send me, just full disclosure, and you can tell me you hate me if you like, but they asked me if I would review their newest Curiosity Box that's coming out. It's got like a prism in it and some other stuff. And I looked at the material and nothing caught my fancy. And so I told them that. I said, please don't send me, please don't send me the Curiosity Box because I won't have anything to do with it. I just can't think of any neat experiments to do with it, so I didn't. Anyway, I wouldn't consider a YouTuber a sellout unless they fundamentally alter their content for more money. That's helpful, Gooby. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. So yeah, if you noticed, you may have seen some of my videos. What I try to do, like when people ask me to sell stuff, I think, can I make an experiment out of this? Because that's what people are, I think, that's what I like to do, first of all. And I think that's what people are expecting on my channel. So unless I'm like, unless I think, I can really do some experiments with this. If I can't think of any experiments to do, I don't accept the offer. So that's all. Gotcha. The advertiser dictates the content. So far, they're giving me free reign, so that's cool. Hello, John. Hello, Shrisa. What does that mean? Someone help me out. Audrey made a comment about I don't know if I want to say the word because I don't know what it means, but Audrey said something about that I could do with all of my money, and I don't know what it means. I apologize. I'm not always up on the latest slang. So someone can help me out with Audrey Thompson-Coy's comment about what I can do with some money. That would help out. Or maybe it's just a typo. It's probably more likely I'm just an old man. I don't know what they're talking about. There we go. I'm adding hydrochloric acid to the flask on the left. Little beautiful color change. I think, yeah, let's try to make the rainbow tower, shall we? Got a little bit of acid going in here on the left. Excuse me, on the right. Take a drop over here on the right. A good old-fashioned brawl. Oh, come on, RX. I appreciate that. RX just sent out a bunch of memberships. Thank you, RX. Appreciate that. Hey, thanks there, Shrisa. Let me know, are you heading to ChemEd this summer, Shrisa? If so, make sure you say hello, all right? That's cool. Shrisa, also, if you have any demonstrations or any articles of your own that you can pop in the chat so I can take a screenshot, I'd love to check out some of your work as well if you have any that you can share, Shrisa. Man, look at all those memberships. Thank you. RX, I appreciate you doing that for me. That's really nice. Hope you all enjoy the memberships. I got to say, why don't you all drop in the chat something that I can do for members? Because I only charge like $1.99. And then I have some, videos for members only is basically what I do. There's just a couple of them. There's not a whole lot. If you have any other suggestions for things I could do for members, I'd appreciate hearing about those. Yeah, thank you, RX. Definitely appreciated. And Shrisa, please do drop, if you have it, a reference in the chat so I can take a screenshot of that and check out maybe some of your work. RX is dropping the memberships. Thank you, RX, for doing that. I'm going to spin this one up. I think I put a little bit too much bass in here. Let's try this again. Oh, turned it too fast. Safe, accessible experiments to do at home, asked Wizard. Sure, just started your journey in chem ed, did your PhD in organic, and now working towards experimental chemistry ed in India. Got it, Shrisa. Well, Shrisha, make sure you check out, my email. You should be able to find that on my YouTube channel. And please do, when please say hello, and maybe we can start talking about possible collaborations. Would be really cool. Yeah, we got a couple memberships, free gifts given out by RX, which I appreciate very much, RX, doing that. And, drop in the comments some things you'd maybe like to see for, I see. Gotcha. Well, Wizard of Tastiness says, I'm going to take a screenshot of that so I remember that. So let's see. Shrisa says, want some safe, accessible experiments to do at home. I like it. We can do that. We got a geneticist here in the chat, and the geneticist is trying to say the chemistry is difficult. Whatever, buddy. So is genetics. So is genetics, my friends. Oh, man. Hello there, Yash. How's it going? I'm going to try to get the static rainbow tower going over here on the left. We got a geneticist in the chat, y'all. That's very cool, Shrisa. Thank you for your kind comments. I appreciate that a lot. And I'm serious about, contacting me via email. Maybe we can get in touch. Here we go. I'm adding some bass over here on the left. Man, we got like an organic PhD in the chat. We got some geneticists in the chat. All right, a wizard. Thanks for hanging out. All right. It'll be good to hear you, Shrisa. Hey, I don't know if y'all heard this week. There's some interesting science news. Very interesting science news. Apparently, some scientists transmuted lead into gold. I think this was at, was this at CERN or was it at, maybe it was Alice. It was at Alice. I don't know what that means there, Brandon. I apologize. And also what happened this week is apparently researchers at MIT captured pictures of individual atoms. Look at this over here. Look at that static. It's not perfectly static, but it's just some really interesting flow patterns that are happening. So Leah also likes the idea of showing some cool things for the 9-year-old. So at-home experiments, huh? Well, I tell you what, maybe I should just have one of my videos. I'll tell you what, I'll do that for you all. I've got a video that I've got coming out that explains. I don't know if you've seen the viral. I don't know if it's viral. It's kind of viral Coke and milk experiment. I got a YouTube short coming out on that pretty soon that describes, explains what you see in that particular experiment using some chemistry. How did I start working on the Coca Mentos? Shrisa, how did I start working on that is I saw it at an elementary school. I saw some kids performing it. I was blown away. I was like, what the heck is this? What is happening here? And that was in 2005. And then for the next 20 years, I spent time just trying to figure out what was going on and doing experiments and just having a ball with it. Some pretty action going on over here on the left. Really pretty action. So yeah. That's what Shrisa, that's what I'd encourage you to do. Find something that, is Just interesting to you, whatever it happens to be. And you got a PhD in chemistry, and then you just start trying to apply what you know to the interesting phenomena that you see. Well, I don't know. I don't know if I... Well, yes and no, Shrisa. You know, they figured out pretty early on that it was nucleation sites on the Mentos candy that were causing the degassing. That was figured out pretty early on. But there were a lot of misconceptions about what powers it and what makes the fountain go higher that actually still persist to this day. When these elements decay with their half-lives along with their nuclei, do their electron configurations also change? What a great question, John Doe. What a great question. So here's the deal, John Doe. When elements decay, they change into different, as you state, they change into different atoms, different nuclei. And that, you know, that process can happen simultaneously with an electron being captured from, you know, that particular atom. So in that case, in the nuclear process known as electron capture, indeed, an element can decay and its electronic configuration will simultaneously change. So that's a particular case where you can say with definitiveness that yes, as the nucleus changes, so does the electronic configuration. The other way to sort of answer this is, you know, the electrons are changing their configurations all the time because that's kind of cool what's going on over here, ain't it? Anyway, why do I say that? Well, because that's when chemistry happens, right? When atoms gain, lose, and share electrons. And the atoms are gaining, losing, and sharing electrons all the time. So there, you know, chemical changes happen all over the place. And it doesn't, you know, the energies involved are not nearly as high as those involved in nuclear reactions. So, John, I hope I answered your question. I think it's a great one. Yeah. Look at this. We got a nice static double rainbow, huh? We got a little bit of base here in the middle. We got some acid on the top and acid on the bottom. Let's find out what's going to happen when we mix this up. Let's see. Let's check it out. Give it a roll. I'm going green. No, it looks like red. Nah, it's probably yellow. Orange, like an orange yellow. That sounds great, Shrisa. You keep it up. Keep it up. I look forward to seeing your stuff. Boy, look at that beautiful flow pattern. I can't make that color, General Sorrow. Sorry about that. A little another drop of base. We're getting some good flow action. Cool, John. I appreciate it. Thanks for the feedback. I tell you what, it'd be nice if we could actually get together and do this. So I could actually see your faces. You could see mine. Would love to be able to see some of y'all who show up week in and week out. Ah, I see, General Sorrow. My apologies. Thanks for the clarification. A little acid to this. A little flash of the traffic light colors. Yeah, I don't know if y'all heard. I had some exciting news this week. Michael from Vsauce mentioned my channel in one of his shorts videos. Isn't that kind of exciting? If you look at his most recent shorts videos, I think it's Gallon Stand Reacting with Metals. At around the 1 minute mark, 1 minute 9 seconds, he calls out Tommy Technetium, baby. I was fired up when some of y'all mentioned that to me in the comments and of one of my videos. Just fired me up. All right. Look forward to seeing you in the future, Shrisa. Hello, Kinsley. Jewel, what this is I have added to each flask some universal indicator. Universal indicator is also known as rainbow indicator. Thank you there, Random. Welcome back. And universal indicator displays these colors at different pH values. And pH just tells you how acidic or basic something is. pH is 7, this is going to look green, which it doesn't right now, but if it's green, it'll be neutral, neither acidic nor basic. If it becomes acidic, It'll look yellow like this. This is just slightly acidic, and as it gets more acidic, it'll get more red. On the other end of the spectrum, if the solution starts to get basic, its pH will go above 7, and at pH 10, it's very basic and it'll be violet. So watch what happens here when I start to add. I'm going to add some base here, so that should cause the pH to rise. You can see that violet color grow in. And as the mixture homogenizes, wow, it looks like we went straight to pH 10 pretty quickly. Let's do the same thing over here, see what happens. Give it a little drop. That looks like it's at like a pH of 8, like an aqua color. Actually, maybe I think I got it right at pH 7. So we neutralize this flask. I'm going to add another drop of base over here. That'll probably take it to pH 10. Now I'm going to start adding, I'm going to turn this down just a bit. I'm going to start adding some acid. The acid I'm adding is hydrochloric acid. It's the same acid that's found in your stomach. When I do that, you'll probably notice that initially there's just a little bit of red color, and that's because right where I added the acid, it gets very acidic. Well, then that acid reacts with the surrounding base, and it gets neutralized, and it, whoa, pretty much keeps it at pH 10, but you can see now that the acid that I've started to add is starting to make the pH drop. So now we're down about pH 9. Andrea asks, as I'm going to continue to add acid to this, and Andrea asks, how does it change color? Well, Andrea, I'm going to answer that at the level of molecules, okay? And I'm not going to be able to answer it for every single molecule that's in the universal indicator, because there's 4 different ones, so it's a complicated system. But nevertheless, I can give you some insight into how these things change color, the molecules that make up the indicator. Hello, Skibbity. And we're also going to, while I'm doing this, we're going to talk about the one molecule or the one compound. Hello there, Stephen. That's present in the universal indicator. It's called phenolphthalein. And phenolphthalein is a ring-shaped molecules. All right? It's a ring-shaped molecule. It's complicated enough for a YouTube live where I can't draw chemical structures on the screen. So to simplify things, we're gonna imagine phenolphthalein. It's a ring-shaped molecule as long as there's a lot of what are called, it's okay, thanks for keeping me on my toes, protons around. And so we're gonna represent this red circle as a proton. This is what acids donate. Welcome back, Huddy. So if there's a lot of acid around, these phenolphthalein molecules, they grab onto these acids, protons, I should say, and when they do that, they have a ring shape like this. So it's like this is representative of a ring in the phenolphthalein molecule. My day's pretty good there, Huddy. You know, I'm a scientist outside, so check me, you know. I welcome you checking me and letting me know if I'm wrong. So we got phenolphthalein with a ring shape like this. When there's a lot of protons around, it'll grab onto a proton. And when it's like this, it's colorless. All right? Now, when bases come along, bases accept these protons. So as the pH goes up, as in this here, there's not a lot of protons available. And so these protons get taken away from the phenolphthalein molecule. And when that happens, the phenolphthalein molecule goes like this. It goes doink. So it goes from ring shape and colorless to, in an acid, to boop, open, no longer ring shape, and pink colored in a base. So that's how one of the molecules changes color of the 4 that are involved in here. Hello, Tennessee. How's it going? Hello there, ANA. Thank you there, outside. Appreciate that. Hello there, Rainbow. Rainbow! Let's see if we can make a rainbow for rainbow fish. Yep, based on the shape and how many protons are around. You got it there, General Sorrow. So that, you know, that should make sense to you, that the structure of molecules determines their properties. Very common thing that we talk about in chemistry all the time. We study the structure of molecules, and the structure of those molecules, we can often generalize and predict things about their properties. Thank you there, Stephen. It is beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. We're going to try to get the rainbow going on for rainbow fish. We got to see the rainbow. How do you do that, white chocolate? What we do is we add something called universal pH indicator. You got it outside. We add universal pH indicator to both flasks. And then I just add acid or base, which changes the pH. And as the pH changes, the color changes. So I'm going to add a little bit of base to this. We're going to try to make a rainbow here. I'm going to add like 3 drops. Let's go 1, 2. Let's go 2. See if we get it. Come on, baby. I don't think so. I added too much base. I mean, I saw a little bit. We're going to try that again. Let's get this acidic again. I'm going to add some acid here. A little flash of a rainbow as we went in reverse. It usually works better from acid to base. Okay, here we go. I got it at red. Let's add our drop of base. See if we can get the rainbow. Come on, baby. There it is. I saw all the colors at once. Thank you there, white chocolate. Hey, outside, thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. Appreciate that. Yeah, my channel's been doing pretty well this spring. We're in a little lull right now, but man, we had a pretty good spring, folks. Had a lot of videos that people seem to appreciate, which is it's always fun when you work hard at these videos. I'm sure some of you are making videos, and you know the feeling. You put all this effort into making a video, and sometimes you just tank, and you just don't know why. All right, here we go. We're going to add a little bit of base to this. And it goes. Let's see the rainbow. Come on, baby. There it is. You're welcome, rainbow, just for you. Come on, we got it again. We got a double rainbow. Welcome aboard, rainbow fish. Good to have you on with us today. Oh, man, we got folks from India here. Yeah, go ahead and drop in the chat the country you're from. I'm from the United States. If you want to just let us know what country you're from, you're welcome to do that. It's always nice to see where people are. Cretino, I apologize. I forgot how to say your name. We got someone from Belgium. I did a report on Belgium when I was in the 6th grade. I don't remember a whole lot. I apologize. We got someone from Germany, rainbow fish. I happen to be, my ethnicity is German. 6 out of 8 of my great-grandparents are German. Someone from Scotland. We got someone from Pennsylvania. General, I first 5 years of my life I spent in Pennsylvania. We got folks from Russia. Great to hear. Welcome aboard. I went to school in Pennsylvania, undergraduate general in Pennsylvania. Cretino, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for the pronunciation in your name. Hi, Andrew. I don't have any. I can't do that for you. Another one from India? Or is that Indiana? From Indiana. Apologize there, professional. Here we go. Let's add a drop here. Trying to get that rainbow. I think we're doing okay. Very nice and pretty. Yeah, I've been mentioning some of the cool... There's been like a lot of science advances, or I should say maybe findings this week. Apparently, some scientists transmuted lead into gold, which is kind of cool. I know that, who is it? It wasn't Seaborg, it was Linus Pauling. They did this, I believe, back in, like, I don't know, it was like the 50s or something like that. Maybe it was the 60s. I think he transmuted bismuth into gold, by slamming nuclei together. But these guys, I don't want to just say guys, there's a whole group of people, so it's, men, women, and otherwise working on the project. Holy cow, 43 Celsius in India. That's hot. And what they did is they accelerated. Now, I'm not sure I have this exactly right, okay? But apparently, look at that rainbow. Come on now. They accelerated lead atoms to close to the speed of light. And then they had them go close to each other. I don't quite understand why they had these accelerated lead atoms get close to one another. I don't quite understand that yet. Nevertheless, I can at least describe the process of what they did. They took these lead atoms and accelerated them to close to the speed of light. And when they did this, the nuclei flatten, and that causes them to emit photons that somehow interact with the nucleus. And then it causes the nucleus to spit out protons. And of course, if lead spits out one proton, it'll become a thallium atom. If lead happens to spit out two protons, it'll become an atom of mercury. And if lead spits out three atoms, it'll turn to gold. And they did observe this happen. But, I mean, apparently they made like 10 to the negative 11 grams or something like that. That's cool. Thanks. I agree, Andrew. And just to be precise here, Andrew, it wasn't the atom per se, it was the nucleus. So, there's still, I don't know what happened to I don't know what happens to the electrons in these experiments. I don't even know if they just don't worry about them. Hey, we got someone here from Pittsburgh. Cool. General, you had mentioned you're from Pennsylvania. Now you're telling us you're from Pittsburgh. Very cool. It is always cold, man. In the Northeast United States, it's a cold day here today. I don't know what it is in Celsius. It's no fun, though. Unfortunately, over here in the U.S., we talk about weather with Fahrenheit. And then we got to do the conversion in our head. So let's see. I don't know, like 12 or something like that. 12 Celsius here today is my estimate. There we go. Beautiful color changes. Yep, I'm just adding either acid or base to some universal indicator, and we're watching the color changes that occur. A little bit of base, see if we can get the rainbow. (25°C, almost 26. I'm going to try to get this rainbow going on, the static rainbow. First, I'm going to get it nice and acidic. All right. I'm going to turn this off. And then we're going to add a drop of base and just watch what happens. Just one drop. Maybe I'm going to add 2 drops. We'll come back to that and see what happens. Let's see what's going on over here for now. This side over here. Add a drop of base. Watch that pH go up. pH 10. Let's just slide this on over here so we can see it a little better. All right. Start adding some drops of acid. 1, 2, 3. That's pretty. Purple rain, huh? Purple rain. Starting to run out of my acid over here. I might have to get a refill. I'm going to see. Oh, yeah, I know Prince. That was a fantastic album. We get the little rainbow flash there? I think we did. Hello there, Roblox. Welcome back. Good to see you. Good to see you. Look what's going on over here. All right, add another drop of base here. See what kind of color. Oh, man, that went really fast. Hello there, Edit. Hello there, Sean. Welcome aboard. Hope everything is going all right with y'all. We are just adding we are adding acid or base to universal indicator. In the flask you see over here, that's violet right now. That's a pH of 10. When you see a violet color, you're at the high end of the pH scale, and that's going to be basic. In a second here, I'm going to add a little bit of acid. Right now, I'm replenishing my acid here. So I'm refilling it. Just a little bit more, and then I'll get back to the experiments. But yeah, you should maybe, while I'm doing this, you should check this out. This is kind of cool. Look what's going on over here. We are starting to get a pH gradient over here. So what I did in this flask is I had, you know, the rainbow indicator added to a flask. We got it to pH 3, and then I just added a few drops of sodium hydroxide base. And you can start, you see, we got a pH gradient. So just to show you what I'm talking about, right? We got pH 3 up at the top, and then it kind of transitions to an orange color here, which is going to be pH 4 or 5. And then you can see just some faint green there in the middle. That's going to be your neutral. And then you can see it transition to blue, which is going to be like a pH 8. And then it goes to violet, which is going to be your pH 10. We're going to let that set a little bit. I'm going to see what that looks like in a few moments. Right now, we're going to transition over here. And I'm going to start adding drops of acid over here to this flask. Just watch what happens. So, 12 Celsius and sunny in northern Sweden. And you went diving under the surface. High Coast. I call this the rainbow tornado, but you can call it whatever you want. By the way, High Coast, up there in Sweden, I imagine you've seen the Aurora Borealis, the northern lights. Is that correct? Hello there, Rabbit. I mean, I've seen them here in northern United States, but we don't get to see it too often. Every time I get a chance to see it, though, I make sure I get outside and take a look. Some folks say that this experiment looks like the Aurora Borealis from time to time. I think it changes a little too quick, but look what this is looking like, folks. Come on now. Isn't that beautiful? Hey, thanks for all the likes y'all giving. I'm seeing all those hearts down there. I really appreciate it. Those are firing through like mad, and I appreciate those hearts. So thanks for liking the live. You can hear it crackle. High Coast, I'm so jealous. Oh, I'm so jealous. That's great. That's fantastic. Add a drop of base. Change it to a higher pH. There you go, rainbow fish. Come on, rainbow. There you go. It's beautiful. Oh, I would love to hear the Aurora Borealis crackle. My dad said he heard that once. Went outside and was hearing it crackle. There we go. There we go. Yeah, we got the rainbow going on. I'm loving it. Rainbow in general. We got the rainbow going on right over here. It's beautiful. We got something happening here. Like something's bleeding down in. I wonder what's going on there. Interesting. All right, let's do another drop over here. Drop of base. Another drop of base. Gorgeous. Beautiful stuff. All right, let's add a little bit of acid. A couple drops over there. Come on. There it is. There it is. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. I think at some point, I think we're getting to the point where I'm going to flip the camera around. That's what I do at the end of the live. So fair warning, if you don't want to see my old mug, now's your time to get off the live. Here's your fair warning. I'm going to flip the camera around and talk to folks for the last few moments of the live. Let's see how our rainbow flask is looking. It's looking beautiful. If I don't mind the cold and long nights, the green light illuminating the tundra is amazing. I bet it is, High Coast. I bet it is. Oh, I wish. Yeah. I got to get over there. I got to see it. Definitely got to experience that. Although I do have some beauty right here in my own little chemistry lab. I agree, Rainbow. It looks beautiful. It looks absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I'm liking that. Those colors are starting to get look pretty sharp. All right. All right. Time to turn the camera around. Here we go. Let me turn this light on. A little out of reach. There we go. All right, folks. Going to say hello to everybody. How we doing out there today? I'll turn this off. How's everybody doing? Any questions you have? Anything you want to talk about? Feeling a little tired today. Glad to hear there, General. Glad to hear you're doing okay. Cam, glad you're doing good. I am too, although I am tired. Been working too hard. Thanks there, Token. Appreciate it. That was fun today. We had a good time. Really good time. Ah, nice, High Coast. Glad to hear it. Sorry there, Rainbow. Hope you're feeling better soon. Yeah, I'm not sick, but I'm just a little tired lately. Yep. If you've seen my lives before, you can tell I'm not quite bringing the energy today. For sure. But that's okay. All right, folks. We're going to head out for this time round. Thanks for hanging in and checking out some of the beauty of science with me. It's always fun. I always enjoy hanging out with y'all. Thank you there, Learn. And we're going to see you next time, all right? I usually hold these live sometime around Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. It was good hanging out with everybody, and we'll see you next time. So long, folks.